Hey guys, it's me, Socioscoptic. Welcome back to another episode. Today, I had this idea of Deku having this sort of accuracy quirk where he could see bullet lines and stuff and use guns and stuff. Then I thought, how would I be able to word this correctly? And I thought, what hero has kind of like that ability that I want to incorporate into the story? And then I thought, hey, Snipe. And I thought, what if Deku was Snipe's son? So here we are. Oh, and by the way, this is not an original what if. I actually looked this up, and I've seen that two people, well, three actually, but yeah, three people have already done this what if. And I see it's actually very, very rare to see this. So I don't want to actually follow the meta. I actually want to try and do my own stuff. So here we go. So, we're gonna start before Deku was born, where Snipe, let's say this is like 2 years before Deku was born. So yeah, Snipe was basically doing a patrol, and he sees that these villains are holding a bank up, and taking the money from it. And so he enters the fray, and I'm just gonna skip this part because we all want to get into Deku's action. And he saves this one girl who's being who's being held hostage by one of the villains. So what Snipe does, if I remember correctly, is that his quirk allows him to he's basically allowed to use bullets to basically fly into wherever whatever target has in view or something. I don't know. But yeah. So he then basically shoots his gun through the girl's skirt into the guy's leg. And he arrests the villains. The girl walks up to Snipe, thanking him, and Snipe, catching a little bit feelings for her because I'm just saying so. He finds this girl attractive, and he says, "Of course, miss. May I ask, what is your name?" "Me? Oh, I'm Inko. Last name whatever. I'm gonna make, since it's not known what I don't believe Snipe's real name was ever released. So I'm just gonna say Snipe's last name is just Midoriya, okay? So just make things more thing. If he does have a last name, then please tell me. But for now, I'm gonna make it Midoriya. And once again, I still have that cold. So yeah. A few years pass, and they started going on dates and stuff. They get married, and they have a kid. And Deku's born. And yeah, growing up, Deku adored Snipe for his hero stuff, and he actually wanted to become Snipe when he grew up. And once it was time for Deku to become, or to get his quirk, he finds out that his quirk is called how do I call it? Let's. Alright, so let's say that. Alright, I'm gonna change Inko's quirk a bit. So she has basically enhanced reflexes, but it basically time slows down for her for a few seconds. And yeah, so Deku has basically a mix of the reflexes, where he can slow down time for a few seconds for him. It's basically adrenaline and stuff. I'm gonna call it adrenaline for that. And Snipe passing down his quirk, And Deku will have something called adrenaline accuracy. I'm going to add one more thing to it. Deku has a mutation quirk where he can basically see the bullet lines, or basically see like projectile lines of whatever he has in his hands, and like when he's getting ready to throw it and stuff, or shoot, if you will. So yeah, and this is when Snipe asked Deku if he wanted to become a hero. And Deku, without hesitation, said yeah. So Snipe starts training him to use his quirk and like physical training and stuff. He teaches him how to use a gun and stuff. And they're just doing a bunch of father bonding stuff. And yeah, when Deku comes of age, I'm gonna say he's 20, because like I said in the other what ifs, I make it so where it's UA has like a college and stuff, and we're skipping the middle school part because I can't really incorporate that into the story. Bakugo and him are still friends, but Bakugo doesn't really bully him since he has a quirk, and his father is Snipe. Actually, everyone is like really like everyone is like, how do I say this? Everyone is like surprised at first to realize that is Snipe's son. And so yeah. God. Sorry about that. Anyways, so you know what? Let's just go into school. Let's just actually go into middle school real quick. Actually, no. This is going to take place in high school. This is the senior year. And the teacher asked what college they would all want to go to, and the teacher didn't just like shoots the papers up in the air. He says, "Of course, you all want to go to UA," and then Deku. No, not Deku. Sorry. Everyone's cheering, and then Bakugo goes on his whole spiel about how he is going to become the number one hero, and all of you are a bunch of sorry saps would probably get like listed into with all the listers. And then Deku, who's like just leaning back in his chair, just says, "Can you shut the fuck up? I'm trying to sleep." And Bakugo looks back at Deku, and he says, "The fuck you say, nerd?" And then Deku looks up from his resting spot, and he leans forward, and he repeats it very slowly. "I said, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to sleep." And Bakugo says, "Oh, you want to fucking go, huh?" And he's like pounding his fists together, and he's like putting his hands together, getting ready to make an explosion. Deku just grabs an eraser off his desk and just flings it at Bakugo's forehead, and like hits him against the face. And I was like, "What, you little shit!" And the teacher stops them both and then he says, "If you both continue this behavior, I'm gonna have to send you both to the principal's office." And they're like, "Fine." Deku chuckles himself. He's like, "Yep, that's still the Bakugo I know." And no, Deku won't call Bakugo Kachan or anything, because like I'm making it where Deku's more badass and doesn't use a. In this, what if Deku has more of a backbone? He gets it from his father. Anyways, so fast forward to the entrance exam. I'm going to say that Deku got in through recommendations. But yeah, fast forward into UA. What else? Oh yeah. So fast forward to UA. Deku enters his classroom, and he sits down in his desk, and he just goes to sleep, leaning back in his chair. Oh god. Excuse me. But yeah. So after a few minutes, he hears this like loud person telling him to wake up and like get your feet off the desk. He looks up and sees Ida, who's yelling at him to take his feet off the desk and respect the school property and stuff, or the college property. I'm just gonna call it a school. And Deku just looks at him. Hang on. And just tells him, and who are you? He says, I am Tenya Ida, and I would ask that you take down your feet. That you would take down your feet right now. And you respect this school property and respect those who came before. Deku then takes his feet off his desk and stands up to Ida's height. Or to Ida. And I'm going to say Deku is a little bit taller. So he's about like at Ida's height. And he says to Ida, oh, you better believe I respect the people that came before me. However, this is my desk, not theirs anymore. This is not their desk anymore. It's mine. And I'll treat it however I please. Now, I would kindly ask you to get off my ass about it. And Ida's just like, I still ask that you respect, and then Deku just says, I don't want to hear another word. Besides, our teacher looks like he doesn't stand for any of this. Ida looks back over, and Aizawa's like, the kid saw me? And Aizawa stands up and says, everyone please take your seat. Everyone take your seat and shut up. He doesn't say please. What am I saying? And Deku just sits down in his seat and looks at Aizawa. After like 20 seconds, everyone sits down and shuts up. And Aizawa says, it took you that long to quiet down. That's not going to work. Now, Aizawa then pulls out these uniforms, or the sports uniforms, and throws it onto one of the students' desks and says, go get changed to these and head back out into the field. And one of the students says, wait, what about orientation? And then Aizawa goes on saying, here in my class, I can do whatever the fuck I want. And yeah, Deku just gets up and goes. Everyone's just looking at Deku as he's leaving, and then Aizawa says, what the fuck you still sitting for? Go! And everyone gets changed. Deku's first out into the field because he left early. And yeah. So, he walks over to Bakugo, or Aizawa walks over to Bakugo and gives him a ball. And says, I want you to throw that as far as you can. Bakugo then smiles, or grins, and says, that's it? Alright. And then Aizawa says, and use your quirk. And you're allowed to use your quirk. And Bakugo takes the ball, he reels back, and he throws it with his explosion, yelling, die! And the ball goes about the same as cannon. And then everyone's like, cool, we get to use our quirks and stuff, except Deku, who's just waiting for the next assignment. And yeah. So yeah, Aizawa then says, if you're just here, if you really think that, then you might as well just pack your things and leave. And he goes on and says, if you think this is a game, then let's raise the stakes. The last person with the least amount of points gets expelled. And everyone's like, okay, we get it. And yeah. So, Deku does the grip test. He scores average on that. He does the frickin'... Oh, God. He does the 50-meter dash. He does average on that. Push-ups, he actually scores pretty high on that one. Sit-ups, and then comes the ball throw. Oh, yeah, no, I'm not missing anything. Oh, and the long jump, he scores a little higher than average because, yeah. And for the ball throw, this is when he basically looks at the ball and then reels back, and basically what's basically a HUD shows up in his field of view. Hang on. Where was I? This has been a while. It's been a while since I've all right, so I think I was at the point where Deku was roasting Ida. No, not Ida. He okay, so he's getting ready to throw. Okay. Yeah. And yeah. So he reels back and this HUD comes on in front of him. Basically it's like calculating wind and gravity and like how far it's gonna throw. And like he basically sees like a line, goes from the ball to wherever it's gonna go. And so he adjusts his aim and gets to the best throwing position. And he's taking a minute too, and people are like, what is he doing? And then he finally steps back and he throws. So yeah. And it goes pretty far. It goes about like, I don't know. Let's just say it goes pretty far. Farther than normal. Farther than an average throw. Farther, actually, let's go ahead and say it was farther than the world's farthest throw. Yeah, let's go with that. And people are like, what the fuck? But they're asking, wait, what is his quirk? Because we haven't seen him use it at all. And so yeah, after practice, no one gets kicked out. Or after the test, no one gets kicked out. And yeah, so yeah, after that, they all head in and yeah. I'm gonna fast forward to the heroes versus villains thing. And a bunch of students start asking, hey, what's your quirk? Because we haven't seen you actually use any powers. And basically, Deku explains his quirk, and everyone's like, huh, that's pretty neat. And Deku says, you should see me with a gun. I can do some pretty crazy shit with that. But yeah. So, All Might busts through the door, and everyone's like amazed. And All Might says, get in your hero uniform and whatever, and meet me and go to Site Gamma, I believe that's called. And so yeah, everyone gets in their uniforms, and I'll explain what his uniform looks or his hero suit looks like. Basically, he's wearing a basically like a cowboy hat. That's like it's like the hat, and then like it's basically Cad Bane's hat. If you've seen what Cad Bane's hats look like. He has a bandana. He's wearing a shotgun trench coat, and he basically looks like a cowboy. And he has like little spurs on his boots as well. And shit, my phone turned off. And for his and he has like two pistols, loaded with basically bullets that like can shock people. It's like shock bullets. Like you shoot someone and basically like shocks them, and they're down for the count. They're still lethal, so he has to be careful with those. Because if he ends up hitting someone in the head, it's game over. He also has like tranq rounds, and he has rubber bullets as well, and he has regular bullets as well. Because I'm gonna fucking give him like a bunch of bullets, and I'm gonna basically give him a 6-shooter, which is like, oh god, it's basically like a single action, and he's giving himself a repeater as well, like a Smith and Wesson repeater. If you want pictures, I'll show you them in the next what if you guys like this one. But yeah, and he walks out, and oh, I forgot to mention he has like this little scarf that's Snipe made for him. And yeah, he walks out, and he's like, it's like scarf and trench coat's blowing through the wind, and he just tips his hat to the new people he's passing by, and everyone's like, "Whoa, you look like the hero Snipe." And Deku says, "Yeah, he's my dad." It's like, "Your what? He's your what?" He's like, "Yeah, he's my dad." He's like, "Nah, you bullshitting us." And Bakugo comes over and says, "It's true. The nerd's father is Snipe." And everyone's like, "Holy shit." And yeah, they pull lots. Deku's on the same team with Araka. I'm keeping things canon. And it's Ida versus Bakugo. And Bakugo's like, finally, I get to put that nerd in the place for always fucking with me in high school. And yeah. How long is this going on? 22 minutes. I got more time. I'm gonna do it the end of the Heroes vs. Villains arc, and then I'm gonna stop right there. So yeah, Bakugo and Ida enter the thing, and Deku and Uraraka come up with a plan. And hang on. Jesus Christ. Sorry for the fucking interruption. Every single interruption. This house is a fucking nightmare. But anyways, so Deku then I'm gonna say All Might gave him like a holographic map of the building, and Deku points out that there's this elevator on the side of the building that's like a construction elevator, which basically like brings up down supplies and up supplies, and it's powered by this like heavy object. And so Deku's like, we're gonna go in from the roof. And he's like, how are we gonna do that? And he's like, follow me. And then once they get to the elevator, Deku says, grab onto me. And she's like, okay. She wraps his arms around his neck. He grabs onto her side, and he grabs onto the rope, and he pulls out his 6-shooter, cocks the gun, and shoots the rope, and he slingshots up with her, following the rope. And yeah. So, and once they reach the top, and they go in through the top exit, or the roof exit, and they are going down. And yeah. So yeah, they're going through, and Bakugo and Ida heard the shot, and they're wondering what the hell is he shooting at, and then they hear like this little like zoom, like go up from down up, and like they're using the elevator on the side, and Bakugo's running to the top running to the roof, cause yeah. So yeah, and then after a few minutes of like wandering the halls, Bakugo runs into Deku. He's like, "You, fight me now." And Deku's like, "All right." And he tells Araka to go. Oh shit! Saw you had to see that. Uh, but yeah. So he tells Araka to go and find the bomb, and Deku and Bakugo start the fight. Bakugo starts charging at Deku. Deku and pulls out his gun and starts and shoots two shots off. And he shoots two shots off at the side of the wall. At the wall, it ricochets off and hits Bakugo's left gauntlet, and it destroys it. He's like, what the hell? And then he twirls his gun and lifts his cap up, and he looks at Bakugo. And he's like, "You damn nerd!" He runs at Deku and shoots an explosion. Deku like rolls forward through it and shoots Bakugo in the leg. And then Deku then holsters his gun and runs up and knees Bakugo in the face, knocking him out. He then wraps Bakugo in the capture tape, and over the loudspeaker, All Might says, "Bakugo is apprehended." And yeah. So then Deku starts reloading his revolver, and he spins it and reholsters it. And he makes his way to where Uraka was going. He eventually finds Uraka in the middle of a fight with Ida. And Deku just pulls out his gun and shoots Ida in the leg. But the bullet bounces off Ida's armor and ends up hitting a wall next to the bomb. He's like, alright, that's not going to work. So he holsters his pistol, and he pulls out basically a bolos. Or bola. You know what those are. Basically, like, you throw it, and it, like, ties up anyone that hits. So he pulls that out, starts spinning it, and Ida's charging at Deku. He hits it, he throws it at Ida's legs, it wraps around his legs, and he falls to the ground. And Deku pulls his revolver around and aims it at Ida. And then Ida looks up, expecting, thinking, is he actually going to shoot me? And then Deku, without saying anything for a second, without doing anything for a second, just says, bang. And then he pulls the revolver out away from Ida's face and holsters it. And then he tells Araka to touch the bomb. And everyone's like, hero team wins. And that's where I'm going to end it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I really love the idea of like Deku just being like this badass with a gun that can like shoot and like ricochet things off walls and being like super accurate and stuff. And Snipe is my favorite hero, so yeah, because I really love the cowboy aesthetic of him. But anyways, hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. And please do leave suggestions in the comments, because I really want to give all of your ideas as much attention as you guys give my channel attention. But anyways, peace.